Back in the book segment tonight, the vilification of Sarah Palin continues. Over the weekend, she gave a strong anti-Obama speech at a conservative conference in Washington.
He promised to heal the planet and stop the rise of the oceans, but the planet's not listening to Dr. Obama. And the only thing rising in his la-la land is the Russian Empire. No, I'm sorry, but really, I'm probably being too hard on the president. After all, who could have seen this coming?
Well, after that speech, Governor Palin was called a moron, among other things, by left-wing media people. Here now, Fox News analysts Monica Crowley and Alan Combs. So, Combs, I don't understand why this continues to happen. Do you understand it?
A little bit. I don't favor calling her a moron. I don't think it accomplishes anything, and I don't like that kind of name-calling. But I think some of the criticism of her is justified. This is a woman who quit her job as governor. I think if she were a serious policy person and were serious about running for office, she would have studied the issues. Seems like she flirts with running.
Why don't you criticize her on that basis?
I do.
Why do you? But Combs, I want to get the psychology behind calling the woman names, which is done by the left all the time. Do you understand that?
I mean, do I understand? No, I don't favor it. I'm not going to defend it.
It's not about a favor. Do you understand it?
I think what I'm trying to explain to you is because she seems to be one thing and does something else. She doesn't seem to. She says things that are not true. She says things to rev up the crowd, as you saw.
Give me an example of something she said.
All right, she said at CPAC, for example, that there were more uninsured people since the Obamacare came into play. That's absolutely untrue.
Is that untrue?
Absolutely untrue.
Well, let's ask Monica.
Monica,
is that untrue?
I don't know.
Okay.
I can't answer that.
Do you know why they attack Sarah Palin personally?
I have a good idea. I think because from the beginning, when she first emerged on the national scene, Sarah Palin represented an existential threat to the left. She was a smart, hip, gorgeous, funny conservative who actually walked the walk as well as talked the talk. So in other words, she was pro-gun, she was pro-life.
There are women like that. Senator Ayotte is like that in
but she wasn't
New
on the vice
Hampshire.
presidential ticket. So when she emerged basically out of nowhere and got on the national ticket, they realized that they had a real problem on their hands, because if she were allowed to really gain traction, especially with women, the Democratic Party would be toast. Therefore, they had to destroy her. The fact that they continue to try to destroy her tells me that she's still incredibly influential, as she was in that dynamite speech,
and that she has to go out there and try
to continue to take her down.
There's something about her that gets the left furious.
I can tell you what it is. Not only is she conservative who walks the walk and talks the talk, she looks like she's having fun doing it. She was having a blast giving that speech, and that drives the leftists insane.
I don't think it's about a left-right issue. This is a woman who chose money over continuing her job as governor. This is a woman who used a phrase like blood libel without realizing how offensive that is to Jews. She doesn't seem steeped in an understanding of what she's talking about.
But if that's true, you can go after her on those issues
I do.
without...
I agree with you.
Getting personal.
Absolutely.
I mean, look, if you think back on the resume, I'm certainly not going to do that here now, but the things that have been said about her and her family, I can't think of any American politician that even comes close. Even Bush the Younger, who was vilified, I can't think of anyone.
Obama with a birth certificate, and he's a Marxist and a socialist.
All of that isn't your kids. Yeah. That's not your kids.
Yeah, they should leave the kids alone, obviously.
Look, should and reality are two different things. She's in a class, Sarah Palin, by herself. She is the most vilified politician in this country by the left. And I don't really understand it, because she doesn't have any power,
and she's not
other than she gets attention.
Right.
She doesn't have any legislative power.
That drives them crazy as well. Look, she's not running for anything. This is not Chris Christie or, say, Ted Cruz or Marco Rubio or somebody who's looking at 2016. As far as we know, she's not running. So why do they continue to go after her?
I don't know.
Because she still gets under their skin. And you know why? Because all the vicious names that they call her don't affect her at all, and that makes them even more insane.
She doesn't get under our skin. She says things like, the way you stop a bad guy with a nuke is get a good guy with a nuke.
And she's right.
Is that really is that what our policy should be in the Ukraine?
Combs,
I mean, come on.
But again, you debate what she says on the merits of that.
I agree with you.
You don't go in and call her names and call her children names.
I absolutely agree.
And cast aspersions on her in ways that are despicable.
That's correct.
But the left can't stop. They are compulsive.
You make broad statements about about the left as if the left walks in some monolithic
Combs,
way.
Everyone who criticized her, everyone, and I'm not going to mention their names because I don't want to empower them, was on the left. Everyone.
Yes,
right?
and it happens on both sides to all kinds of people.
No, Combs. It doesn't happen on both sides. When Sarah Palin gave her speech, everyone was a
The
far
right doesn't
leftist.
vilify people on the left.
Combs. All right, thanks very much. Fact or tip of the day, are you a